And we welcome you to PNC Park in Pittsburgh, where the Rockies are meeting the Pirates. First of 6 matchups this year. They'll play 3 here and then 3 later on in the summer in Denver. The Pirates off to a great start. They're 11-4, and as you can see, not a lot of folks because it is chilly, and yes, those things floating through the air, that's called snow. Do you know what? Pittsburgh's used to this also. Their average temperature in their home games, 40 degrees, and today will not raise that temperature at all. First pitch from Stephen Brault to DJ LeMahieu's outside, ball 1. Nope, it's called strike. My bad.
You got to see it. Well, you got to look through all the snow flurries.
Yeah, right on the black, evidently, according to Dan Iasanya. And now DJ calls timeout. DJ, the big series in Washington as the Rockies took 3 out of 4. And we can see right away there's going to be a pretty decent-sized strike zone, and that caught the bottom of the Subaru strike zone at 93, so it's quickly 0-2. Stephen Brault's a California kid. He grew up near San Diego, but he went to college at Regis University in Denver.
3-year starter there at Regis.
And this ball is well hit to right, but it is foul. It had home run distance, not by a lot.
No.
Closer than I think many believe. DJ never jogged toward first. Brault, get a view of what he used last year.
Yeah, and his slider is the improved pitch for him this year more than anything, getting a lot more swing and misses with that. There it is, almost on cue, like he was listening to us. But that's been the difference for Stephen Brault, because his fastball is not where you would say it's electric. It's 92, might play up a little bit just from the arm action.
He's the first kid from Regis to get to the big leagues. 11th round pick a few years ago. Change up, or no, it was a fastball. That's down low, 2-2. Brault was a tremendous player in the RMAC. Not only was he a gifted pitcher, he was the first player in RMAC history to not only be first team all RMAC as a pitcher, but also as a position player. He was a very good outfielder.
That was 2013.
Now it's really coming down. That's inside, 3-2.
This started about 5:30 with some flurries and just kept getting stronger, and they said it wasn't supposed to start snowing until after 11 o'clock tonight.
It's better that it's snowing, Huey, than raining, isn't it?
For sure.
And that's ball 4. So after getting ahead by 2 strikes, Brault loses LeMahieu. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order tonight for the Rockies. Chris Iannetto bats second again. Charlie, who's done a great job, whether he's hitting first or third, does not matter. He'll be in that 3-hole tonight. Then it's Desmond, the hero from the 9th inning yesterday. Cargo, Trevor Story, Pat Paleka getting a start against the lefty. He'll be at third base. Gerardo Parra will bat in front of German Marquez.
Oh, now look at that shot.
You know, it's funny, from our vantage point, it doesn't, you know, it's snowing, but it doesn't look as bad. But when you show it on camera from center field, you think, what's going on there in a blizzard?
Played a few games like this in Wyoming, and I'm sure Stevens played in a few back in Colorado.
Outside. Brault tends to work almost exclusively arm side.
Yeah, he's better. So that means inside to the left-handers, away from the right-handers. If he tries to go glove side, a lot of times he'll yank it. And it'll end up looking like a strike, but yank it out of the zone.
2-0 for Chris. And this ball is lined well to center field, and it's over the head of Marte off the base of the wall. DJ's going to get a green light from Stu Cole, and the throw coming to the plate is not in time. Great start for Colorado. A walk and a double for Iannetto, 1-0 Rockies. Boy, was that ever a laser.
Yeah, and I was just watching Starling Marte in center field. He pretty much got on his horse immediately because he knew it was over his head. And the good thing is, as a runner coming from first, when that ball is hit, you know how hard it is. You know it's not going to be caught. So there's no hesitation as you start to go around second. And then going around third, Stu Cole was waving him the whole time. Third double this season for Chris Iannetta.
So that'll bring up Charlie. Nobody out. Chris at second base. The Rockies so far have been terrific out on the road, 7-4. And factor in that they lost their first 2 games of the year in Arizona, so they've actually won 7 out of 9 out on the road.
Yeah, the one loss at San Diego, and then the loss Saturday in Washington.
Getting off to a quick start anywhere, you know how important that is, but especially here at PNC, because the Rockies' history here, especially their recent history, is not good at all. This is a wild pitch, and now Iannetta goes to third.
Take advantage. We saw Washington take advantage a few times yesterday on some wild pitches.
Just to finish that thought on the Rockies' issues here at PNC, since 2012, in 18 straight games here, they have scored 5 runs or less in every one of those games, averaging just 2.9 runs offensively. And unfortunately for Colorado, most have been losses. And this is going to get the job done. Josh Bell runs to first base. Charlie's out, but the Rockies have a 2-0 lead as Iannetta comes home. That's RBI number 12, which leads the club for Chuck Nasty.
Yeah, and that's how you manufacture runs, ladies and gentlemen, right there. You get the double, you advance to third on the wild pitch, and all Charlie's doing is if he can't hit it out like he did yesterday or hit a double, he's going to get that run in, and he did. Quick 2 points for the Rockies.
So here's Ian Desmond with 1 out. And he has a quality pass on a fastball through the middle of the zone. He got a pitch down a little bit yesterday. When I say down, they've been working him above the hands, and he hammered it out to center field. That's a big chopper. Brault will throw out Desi by a step. With 2 outs, that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. It'll give us an opportunity to check out the Pirates defensively. Adam Frazier's at second base. He's going to play a lot of second base over the next 6 weeks because, unfortunately, Josh Harrison was hit on his hand yesterday. He was hit on the hand last year and broke his a bone right near his pinky. He broke the exact same bone yesterday, and we saw him earlier today. And you know, it just a tough. Pardon the pun, a break for Josh, because he's the leader of this Pirate team. He's one of their veterans. He's been around for the playoff seasons, and
especially too after Andrew McCutchen left. Then you have now Josh Harrison take off and be that leader, and he brings so much energy to a ball club. But back-to-back years, the same injury. I mean, that's hard to swallow as a player.
He gets hit a lot. He got hit more than 20 times last year. This ball is driven high and deep to left field, and it's going to carry to the track, but gathered in there by Corey Dickerson. So the Rockies get 2 in the first against the lefty Steven Brault. 2-run lead for German Marquez when we come back.
Hey, For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And for Herman, it's go the distance. The Rockies relievers, as you see, have pitched 19 innings in the last 5 days. So give them a little bit of a break. Let them stay warm, if they can, actually. Hey, the difference today, look at Drew. Herman's wearing some sleeves. He didn't do that in Denver.
He learned.
Yeah.
Here's Frazier leading off, and he takes a fastball for a strike. And the numbers in the early going for Herman again. That great start against San Diego. The first 3 innings were great, but got interrupted as he got tossed after the fight. 1 ball, 1 strike, didn't get on top of the curveball.
No, I think he's got to limit the walks. That has been a little bit of an issue for Herman. And then also his whip this year is 1.74, where last year is 1.38.
2 balls and a strike, and this is bounced slowly to second. DJ gloves it with 1 hand and gets Frazier by a step and a half. Here's the Southwest batting order for Clint Hurdle tonight. Gregory Polanco hitting just .218 in the early going. Starling Marte had a 5-hit game yesterday. And Josh Bell, he's off to a great start. The former Rocky, Corey Dickerson. Good to see Corey, and he's on fire. He has a 10-game hitting streak going. Francisco Cervelli back healthy. Colin Moran is the only rookie in that lineup. Jordy Mercer, the veteran. And Stephen Brault is a guy that swung the bat very well in college and has continued to do that in the big leagues. Here's Polanco. You talk about a guy who's uber talented. 6'5" Polanco.
Always has been.
Well received by Chris Iannetta, and that pitch is strike 1 on Polanco. He's got 5 home runs despite the low batting average.
Well, Polanco had asked for a timeout, but it wasn't being granted, so he could have actually thrown that pitch if he wanted to.
It's a curveball that's hitting the air to center field.
There's got to be a lot of communication tonight between not only the outfielders, but the infielders with some of the wind and snowflakes coming down.
It's kind of weird. Charlie signaled to Parra right before he caught the ball, it looked like. And I was surprised because that was, you know, it's clearly Charlie's ball. Parra was still 30, 40 feet away. Here's the Rockies defensively. Pat Valaika again, he's in at third base. This is game 3 of the suspension of Nolan Arenado. So as long as there's not a postponement, Nolan will be ready to go on Friday when the Rockies open up a series against the Cubs. And had this question on Twitter, and I've seen it elsewhere. If there were a postponement here in Pittsburgh, as that's fouled off by Marte, then Nolan, and it wasn't made up prior to the Rockies leaving.
Immediately, yes.
Immediately. Then Nolan would have to sit on Friday. You have to sit 5 games consecutively. It can't be, well, it would have been 5. He can sit 1 later on. It doesn't work that way.
Nope.
So I hope that clears it up, and hopefully,
well,
even
hopefully
despite the cold weather, we get them all in.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, too, because I know, knowing Nolan, he's anxious to get going again, and the club's anxious to have him back.
Good fastball above the hands at 96. 2-2 on Marte. Not only 5 for 5 yesterday, 4 singles and a home run in the 9th inning in a 7-3 win down in Miami. But he had a hit in his final at bat on Saturday, so he's had 6 straight hits. Three-two.
That was a slider that he went 2-3-2, not the curveball.
And he throws the slider only about 8% of the time. Another 3-2, and he loses him. We'll bring up Josh Bell, who is a switch hitter.
Caught a glimpse of Josh Bell last year. Saw some of the talent, finished 3rd in the National League Rookie of the Year voting.
He's a big, strong kid. He's going to hit for power, but they believe he's also going to hit for average. He is right now at 305. Bell takes a strike. Josh Bell and Trevor Story are very close friends. They both grew up in Irving, Texas together and played on travel ball team, the Dallas Patriots, and they continue to work out together in the offseason.
Need to draw them in some pool.
Yeah, right. Runner going, and that goes into center field, and Starling Marte bounces up and will go to third, so we'll get a stolen base, and there will be an error on Chris for the errant throw.
It's back-to-back games for Chris where he's had an error.
The error yesterday was on a throw of about 25 feet. That one was the 128-foot variety, but it
kept going.
Sailed.
Yeah, just took off on him. He knows it immediately. It's almost like yesterday when you had the stolen base and then you get to third. The wild pitch.
Well, yesterday, Huey, the Rockies did something they have never done in franchise history. They walked 10, hit a guy, and had 3 errors or 3 wild pitches in the game and won.
He's going.
He's going. You got to run at him. And
he was going to go.
He was going to go because the only guy on that side of the field was so high up. That's Vallejo over there.
Right now, he's looking to see where Pat is. That's what he's doing. Same thing right now. He's halfway down to home.
Yeah, you got to change your alignment.
You got to change it.
You cannot let him take a 50-foot lead.
No, it might even be longer than 50 feet.
Vallejo's gotten about 6 or 7 feet closer, but it's still.
Well, then what you hope doesn't happen, that you lose your focus on the hitter and you leave a pitch for him to hit.
Well, before Pat moved, honestly, I think he could have beaten the ball to the plate.
Yes, I agree. He's still getting off there and kind of looking.
1-2, and swung on and
nice
missed.
Job.
Good job. With a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, Marquez takes care of Josh Bell. No harm done. 2-0 Rockies. Your hometown Toyota stores, and by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. The only boats that would be out on the Allegheny right now might be boats we'd see at the deadliest catch. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking. You great minds think alike.
That's right.
Trevor Story with the Rockies up 2-0. And he hits this ball in the air to Polanco and right. He's got it. bring up Pat Valeka.
I just want to go back to that strikeout for a moment of Josh Bell. That was some concentration by Herman to not get too distracted and then finish him off. Because we were wandering up here watching him, going, man, how's he doing it with Marte so far down the line? That strikeout. Subaru Supermo with 96. He swung underneath it. 97.
That was a nice play in the
there might be
crowd.
enough foul balls are hit tonight. There might be some souvenirs for everybody.
I mean, it's so cold out, and it's a Monday night, and it's April. I don't know if there's 1,500 people here.
No, I agree. There's going to be less than that. I don't know what they'll announce. It's just been a rash of rainouts and snowouts this year everywhere. It's just one of those years.
Detroit's lost 6 games. The Pirates have lost 3 here at home. I said to Pat during batting practice, that just like SoCal, bud. That crossed up Cervelli somehow. They lost a pitch that was very close to being on the inside corner. And I know that doesn't sound right. You say crossed up when a catcher when there's nobody on base. But there are a lot of catchers now because of fear of video that are using signs even when there's nobody on base or just a runner at first base. Nobody wants their sign stolen, their sequences stolen.
Not at all. And people are always trying to do that, but if you give multiple signs, it's harder to do, obviously.
It's a good job by Valeka. Wandering out to the outside corner to make sure he was off the plate. 3-2 with 1 out. Gerardo Parra's on deck. LeMahieu walked in the first. Ionetta doubled off the center field wall, and then Charlie would bring Chris in. And this ball's lined to center field, and that is a nice catch by Marte. He got the glove underneath. That's Valeka's fault. He hit it too hard.
Too hard.
Rockies are taking good swipes so far. First time through the lineup against Brault.
Yeah, I think they're seeing it well. Marte, this center field's been manned by McCutcheon for so long, and there was some talk that last year that's where he was going to go before he was suspended for 80 games. And then when he came back, he played left field.
Ball 1 on Parra.
There's a little bit of that yank to the glove side that we referenced back in the first inning.
Yeah, just not as comfortable for him to get it glove side. And so I would think from a game plan standpoint, Huey, if you're a right-handed hitter, you look middle away, and if you're a left-handed hitter, you got to look in, right?
Exactly right, Drew.
And stick with that.
Yeah, and don't deviate it, and that's the thing. Even mid-at-bat, too. You stay with that plan. Don't change it after you have a strike or two or two. You stay with the plan the whole at-bat until he shows you he's going to do something else after your at-bat is over.
2-1.
Yes, he did go.
2-2. There's 2 ways of looking at that. Sometimes you say, oh man, guy must not have been comfortable seeing the ball. Sometimes he may be comfortable enough that he'll bunt with 1 strike thinking with 2 I'm okay. I don't feel like he could, not that you don't ever get beat, but that he can't beat me. I'm all right if I am unsuccessful trying to bunt with 1 strike.
Yeah, I don't think you do that against Max Scherzer.
No, probably not.
Steven Strasburg, who we just saw for 2 days in a row.
Fouled off and playable, it looks like, for Moran. He makes the catch. That'll end the inning. The Rockies go in order in the second. They have a 2-0 lead in Pittsburgh, middle of 2. Former Tampa Bay Ray and now a Pittsburgh Pirate, and he was traded for German Marquez and Jake McGee. He went along with minor league third baseman Kevin Padlow at the time. Here they are facing off against one another. Dickerson's really happy. You and I got the chance to speak with him today. He's really happy in Pittsburgh, and he's been rolling. He's hit 10 straight games.
Yeah, 450 over those 10 games.
That pitch inside, ball 1. I was kidding him earlier. I said, you know, you're a veteran now. Because I don't feel like one. He said, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, he made his major league debut in 2013, so yeah, he's a veteran now.
He can hit. He'll always be able to hit. The great signings of Damon Ionelli's a cross-checker now. Signed him at a Meridian, Mississippi junior college. I knew about him in high school.
Well, when you can hit like that, word gets out.
He forced his way to the big leagues too, just by hitting, because you don't look at any of his other tools and say, oh, well, that's plus. I mean, he's always played hard, but he's not super fast.
No.
Obviously not super big. Down low, 2-2.
He works hard at it.
Yeah. But that, hitting tool,
it trumps everything.
Yeah.
But you can get him out by not throwing a strike. I think that's the thing for Corey.
Corey's got a quick bat. And
did you see what he's doing though with 2 strikes? He
chokes
chokes up.
Yeah.
He chokes up.
We were discussing that over the weekend, especially when you're facing guys like Scherzer and Strasburg and, you know, John Gray, these guys with overwhelming fastballs. Well, Marquez has one of those also. This ball is softly lined to DJ, 1 out. That'll bring up the catcher, Francisco Cervelli. The best walk-up song in baseball. Fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, comments, photos. Use Twitter and the hashtag ToyotaTalk.
You like that one, don't you?
It's amore. Cervelli is from Venezuela. He makes his home in Florida now and has for a long time, the former Yankee. His father is of Italian descent, so the last 2 WBCs, he played for Team Italy. Cargo's got an easy play. Well, I'm going to take you back a little bit to a former teammate of yours as Colin Moran steps up. And a guy I actually played against going back to high school, and his uncle is B.J. Surhoff, Colin Moran's.
Oh, really?
He's an old teammate of
Yeah,
yours.
B.J. and I played together in '95 and '96 in Baltimore.
B.J.'s from Rye, New York. His sister,
well, another
son is Colin Moran.
Yeah, another guy that left New York and went down to North Carolina.
Yep, he went. Walt Weiss went. Clint, who has such a way with words, talking about Clint Hurdle. We were talking about Moran. He's a well thought of young player. Mentioned he's the only rookie in the Pirate lineup. And he said he reminds me a little of Todd Zeal. But sometimes Colin thinks he gets 4 strikes. So you be patient at the plate. Remember Zeal? I mean,
yeah.
Zeal was a lot like Chris Ioannidis. You know, Zeal was a third baseman, became a catcher. You know, they set up shop when they go to the plate. 1-2. Moran is already on the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Moran, like Walt and like B.J. Surhoff, went to North Carolina. B.J. was the first pick in the entire draft.
Yeah.
Out of Carolina, went on to produce well over 2,000 hits in a long big league career.
Good pitch. Where's that? That's a strike
3.
Look at straight on the Subaru strike zone. 97, pitch number 5.
I guess he does get 4 strikes.
Yeah. I mean, you can't put this any better than that. I know it's not where Chris set up.
Still a strike.
Still a strike. Right.
Three and 2. Two outs, nobody on. Moran, the 7-hole hitter for the Pirates. And that will get the job done.
4 strikes.
Marquez with his 2nd strikeout. He's got his good stuff going. The Rockies have a 2-0 lead.
On deck, and we've noticed some interesting statistics about DJ. Drew talked this weekend about how DJ Charlie continue to get better. One of the things that he's done has become more selective at the plate. You look at that swing percentage, 31.1%. The league average, 45%. His also career average is 45%, and his contact percentage is 92.4%, which leads Major League Baseball. He doesn't just make contact, though, Drew and Huey. As you guys know, he makes a lot of hard contact.
Well, that's a great segue, Corey. I'm glad you threw that out there because as Herman is behind 0-1 and now 0-2, DJ is 7th in all of baseball this year at hard contact. Hard contact is any baseball that exits your bat at 95 miles an hour or more is considered hard contact. And DJ, who walks to the plate now, on his balls in play, 57.9, we'll round it up, 58% of the balls he's put in play have come at least 95 miles an hour. Hard contact, 7th again in all of baseball.
And look at those numbers too. 33 hard hit balls this year.
Which leads the big leagues. Didn't get a chance to hit a ball hard the first time. He drew a walk. And he would score a moment later when Chris Iannetta had hard contact off the center field wall. He hit one of those cargo line drives.
It started off as a 2-iron and ended up as a driver with the height. This is where DJ was his first at bat, down in the ditch, 0-2. Comes back, earned that walk.
And he's one of the most comfortable hitters in baseball with 2 strikes. And that ball is hit well to center field, retreating and making the catch just shy of the track is Marte.
That's 2.
And I bet that came off the bat around 95 miles an hour or so.
Yeah, those 2 balls to center field, one by DJ, the other by Pat, that were right on the barrel. And Chris back in the first inning got this party started amongst the flurries over the head of Marte, allowing DJ to come around from first. Rockies on the board, 1-0.
That snapped an 0 for 9 for Chris. Fastball tails away from Brault. Two and 0. Stephen Brault won the opener in Detroit for Pittsburgh. Now, he wasn't the starting pitcher. He worked 3 innings out of the pen to earn the victory. And he's been inserted into the starting rotation since. Polanco's going to make the catch, and that is now 9 in a row set down by Brault, but the Rockies have a 2-0 lead.
Nothing. Fans get on-demand access to the rooftop with the Rooftop Ballpark Pass, $96 for 8 games and includes concession credit. Choose the days and redeem your pass from your phone. Go to Rockies.com/pass for more information.
Well, DJ, that line drive to deep center field came off the bat at 107 miles an hour, so make it 34 times the ball has exited his bat this year at better than 95 miles an hour, which is best in baseball. And typically, what the average is offhand, but it's really high. When you hit the ball above 95 miles an hour, You're not hitting 220. You're
No,
hitting
but
for a higher average.
That ball, 107, was harder than his home run ball yesterday. His home run ball came off the bat at 102 miles an hour.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Curveball for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 on Jordy Mercer. Mercer's been scuffling of late. He's 0 for his last 15. Mercer, then the pitcher Brault, and Adam Frazier.
It's like the wide range of variety tonight for Herman with the fastball, the slider, the curveball, the variance in speed. Ooh, just in on the Subaru strike zone.
Well, Brault's on deck. We were talking about him being a two-way player at Regis University. Jordy Mercer, who's from a small town in Oklahoma, was a two-way player at Oklahoma State. He used to save games for them.
Which, no offense to Regis, is just a little bit different at Oklahoma State. Regis, a D2 school in the RMAC. Oklahoma State. That is
Big 12 baseball.
That's Big 12. It's a lot stiffer competition day in and day out.
He was a three-time All Big 12 player. As he fouls that one off, when he left Oklahoma State, we'll have to check with Brian Jones, who's an expert on everything Oklahoma State.
He bleeds orange after purple. Comes out purple and then changes to orange.
There you go. When he departed Stillwater, he was the all-time saves leader there with 17. 2-2. And he's now 0 for his last 16. That was a yacker right there.
Yes, it was. Third strikeout tonight already for Herman. This is good to see because on a cold night, sometimes you don't get that feel. You don't get that grip on your finger. Don't sleep on Steven. He got 28 career plate appearances. 0 strikeouts.
That's amazing. You know, the last time a pitcher started his career with 28 consecutive plate appearances and didn't strike out?
Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long while. 1940. Two for 6 this year. And he's not going to strike out here. Story's going to throw him out. Brault, when he was at Regis, Mark Gustafson, who's worn so many hats through the years for the Rockies. And Gus texted us a moment ago, and he said when he was at Regis, he was 88, 92. Obviously picked up a little bit of velocity since then, and he batted 3-hole for Regis.
He's tied for the highest draft pick as far as round goes ever out of Regis at the 11th round.
Here's Adam Frazier, and now Marquez. Remember, it was one good curveball and then one he didn't get on top of in the first inning. Now he's really got the curveball.
That's good.
That's a changeup at the bottom of the zone.
So we've seen all 4 pitches tonight. That's the evolution of a pitcher.
Herman's ceiling is really high. Love his tempo too, Huey.
Yeah, on a cold night, you have to pitch fast. You can't have guys standing around out there. Again, there's everything that he throws.
Frazier looks at a changeup at 80, a hard curveball in the low 80s, then he gets 97 up in the zone.
Curveball.
That is tapped foul.
And it must be nice, too, for a catcher when you know that pitcher has this, so you've got plenty of tools in your tool belt.
It's a lot of fun when the pitcher, his stuff is on, and if you talk to catchers, and obviously, Hugh, you would know this well, when you set up and and set your target and the pitch shows up there consistently,
Yes.
that's really a great night for a catcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Talking about colleges, Adam Frazier was a big star at Mississippi State. At his junior year at Mississippi State, led the nation in hits. This ball is on the ground to second, and it's a 1-2-3 third inning. Strikeout, 2 groundouts for Herman. Rockies leading 2-0 in Pittsburgh. This year, 6 home runs, all out on the road, first in Major League Baseball. 12 RBIs, because he had one in the first inning, all out on the road, tied for first in baseball. He's hitting .351 out on the road, a .919 slugging percentage out on the road. It's pretty clear, looking at those numbers, you just can't play him at home.
No,
really good away from Denver, just don't play him at home. Chuck will lead off, then Ian Desmond and Carlos Gonzalez. And a slider for a strike. Tried it again, missed 1-1. Chuck rolled a ground ball to first to get Ionetta in, who had doubled and moved up on a wild pitch. Chased in, 1-2.
That's that arm side pitch to a lefty.
Gets pretty good movement there.
Slight pull everywhere on the infield for Charlie, and also a little bit in the outfield, especially in center and right.
Shattered bat,
Easy.
slowly hit the second. Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
I
Cold
think
night.
cold
Charlie's
night.
got that quad.
Yeah.
He's thrown out by Adam Frazier. Let's go down on a cold night and check in with a guy who's probably pretty cold, Corey Sullivan.
I'm warm watching this game. We got Ian Desmond coming to the plate, so time now for our Coors Light refreshing finish. And that's what Ian Desmond did yesterday in Washington. 1 for 14 to start the series. He had 6 strikeouts, but he ended the series in a huge way with the go-ahead home run to go ahead and take the series from his previous team, the Washington Nationals. Guys, that was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch. A great, great moment for the Rockies, most importantly, and a pretty special moment for Ian.
Heck yeah, when it's the first time you've ever done it in the 9th inning. Did a home run like that. And, you know, he'd gotten a lot of cheers and applause the first couple nights. But after that, it's over. You're wearing a new uniform. You want to help your club win, take 3 or 4 from Washington out on the road against some tough pitching.
1-2. Desmond had felt, and you guys can relate to this, you know, it's hard to get results sometimes, but he had felt better at the plate even though the results hadn't been coming.
Yeah, and he talked about afterwards with his interview with Corey about just that last at bat that he raised his hands ever so slightly. Just got him back up just a little bit. Not back where they were last year, but up from where they were in spring training.
2-2. Desi has hit lefties well this year, 8 for 24. He's got 3 home runs and 6 driven in this year against left-handed pitching. And the Rockies have seen a ton of lefty starters.
What is this, the 9th in the, 17 games, 18 games now?
Rockies come in 9 and 8. That's outside. Good at bat going for Desi. And against lefties, the Rockies are 3 and 5, so this is their 9th. So half the time they've seen left-handed pitching to begin the day. And Desi wins the battle. Nicely done. Now the Rockies have speed on with 1 out. And Cargo coming up. Cargo hit the ball hard his first time up to the track and left on a line.
Right fielder, Carlos Gonzalez.
Last time the Rockies had a walk, it was the DJ. Good things happened. He scored.
Cargo certainly hasn't caught fire yet, but he's getting key hits. He's driven in 10. Remember last year, he really struggled. He hit below 200 all year with runners in scoring position.
Well, that base hit he had in the 6th into left center field.
Gave the Rockies a 4-3 lead at the time.
With 2
huge.
outs.
Yeah, against Steven Strasburg. So Cargo this year is hitting 294 with runners in scoring position, as opposed to last year 178. It's going to be a different year for him. You just know it. Good take, 2-0.
Almost identical spots on the Subaru strike zone.
In fact, Cargo has 5 go-ahead ribbies, which is tied for second best in baseball. He has a long history of that. You know, there's some guys, it just seems like they get ribbies when the game is no longer competitive one way or the other.
Yeah.
Cargo's never been one of those guys.
No, he likes to be up in those pressure situations. Yeah, he'll get his hits and RBIs and home runs when the game's out of whack, but he also knows when it's time for him to do it. You don't pile up 100 RBIs in a season without doing both.
Yep. 2-1. And this is up the middle and on through a base hit. That was miscommunication because of the shift.
Great call, Drew. That's exactly what it was. When you had the third baseman, Moran up the middle, Jordy Mercer was on the second base side, so they both start to go at it, and then they stop. Watch this. They start to go, you got it, I got it, no, you got it. Nobody has it, and now it's a base hit for Cargo, first and second.
And if Mercer makes the play, I don't know if he would do anything other than field it on the backhand. I don't know where he would have gone because Moran was going after the baseball, and I don't think he's going to throw out Cargo across his body from where he would have fielded.
No, but maybe they get that lead runner.
Well, nobody was covering the bag, though.
Well, maybe if he could have beat him there, that's all I'm saying. That was going to be the only option.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have, where he would have caught it. But still, that is sometimes when you go into those infield shifts, that's what you'll get. It's different if you have a second baseman and a shortstop because you're used to cutting in front of each other or maybe going behind and communicating. It's different when the third baseman's over there with the shortstop in that position.
So good speed aboard. Desmond at second, Cargo at first. Dan Iasanya is going to break up the meeting between Ray Searage, Francisco Cervelli, and Stephen Brault. Trevor Story swung at the first pitch he saw and hit a high fly ball to right in the second inning, leading off. Chance for the Rockies to extend their lead, up 2-0 here in the top of the 4th. Tough series in Washington for Trevor. He was 1 for 15 with 10 punch-outs. And that's another strike. 0-2.
Two different pitches on the Subaru strike zone. The first one was a changeup, second one fastball. Yesterday, the Rockies got a couple hits with runners in scoring position, 2 for 3. Still just 229 on the season. That number will improve, you know it will, but tonight would be a good start.
Come in 1-2. I mean, the Rockies came into the ballgame hitting .217 as a club, which is 27th in baseball. Their on-base percentage at .285, 29th. Their strikeout percentage 26.5%, 28th. Yet they're 9-8. So wait till they start heating up. 2-2.
Yeah, the 217 average, that's the lowest ever through 17 games in Rockies history. But again, that, you know, we talk about it, those numbers, yet you still look at the win-loss. 9-8.
They're finding a way. Desi with a lefty and a big man in the box. He's seen now 4 pitches.
We also start to look at the pitch sequence, the signs that are given by the catcher, trying to pick those up.
Frazier's trying to keep him close. No movement, and this is fouled off.
So out at second base, if you're Desi, the first thing that I would look at trying to steal signs is I would look for the second sign or the first sign after the number 2. So I kind of look at those 2 signs first. So you think fastball in your mind. So you see when he throws down at number 1, where did it come? Was it the second sign, first sign after 2? So he went 3-3. So you think it might be a slider down and in if we're going second sign.
You were right. This ball crushed deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Trevor Story, 3-run bomb.
2-2 pitch for Trevor. That was awesome.
Huey saw a slider. Trevor saw a slider. And he hit that slider a mile. Home run number 4 for Story. How good that must feel. After falling behind 0-2, Rockies leading 5-0 now.
Trevor's missed some pitches the last 5 to 7 days that you know he's going to eventually hit. Well, he doesn't miss this one. It's just how far is it going to go. Ends up 5 rows deep in left field.
Pat Valleca. Well, Huey, we talked about it at the start of the broadcast. 18 straight games at PNC Park, the Rockies have struggled offensively.
5 runs or less during that time.
5 runs or less, and most of the time it was a lot less than that. They already have 5 here in the 4th inning.
Well, and this is what you wanted to do, coming into a game where you had a great series, actually, in Washington, because you faced some tough pitching. You walk out of there with 3 Ws. You're coming to Pittsburgh, who's very hot in their own right. They're 11-4. On a cold night. They go, wow, if we get off to an early start, I've been there, you're winning, it's cold. The other team, I don't want to say they shut down, but it's hard to get that motor revving tonight.
Well, the motor's revving for the Rockies offense. 2 in the 1st, 3 here in the 4th. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pat Valleca, who hit a laser to center field, and a shoestring catch by Starling Marte kept Valleca off the bases. Pat again will hit it in the air to center, and Marte with an easier play. 2 outs. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Gerardo Parra.
Well, it's so good the first time. Let's look at it again on the Subaru Supermo. This swing by Trevor on the home run. Slider gets those hips cleared just enough to pull the hands in. He knew it. I mean, when you've hit 55 home runs in 260 career games, you know when you get it.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. Parro ground out to Frazier, but the Rockies got a walk from Desmond, a base hit from Cargo, and a laser shot to left from Trevor Story. 5-0 Colorado. Our CenturyLink high-speed challenge. A reminder to go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll show you the results during our post-game show. Should pitchers face harsher consequences for intentionally throwing at a batter? A, yes, B, no. Pretty simple. And the reason we asked that is that, you know, Nolan incensed 96 miles an hour up and at him, actually behind him. Extremely dangerous. I have no issue that Nolan went out there. Obviously, he didn't want to get suspended, but he also, if you're defending yourself, you have a right to defend yourself, and that is a weapon, man.
That's the thing, a weapon. And as a hitter, too, Drew, if the first thing when you start to see a ball at you, you start to back up. So you end up backing up sometimes into it. You can't turn or you get. If a pitcher feels like he has to throw at you, do it down low. You know, on the backside, on your rear.
Fly ball left field. Parra's out there, and Polanco is retired.
That's where I think, yes.
And I understand you have to pitch inside, and there are times in baseball where you have to pick up, you have to send a message, take care of a teammate, but you cannot throw at the shoulders or above.
Or the head.
Because I mean, we've seen some tragedies through the years. And that's why, maybe, if the commissioner's office, Joe Torre, who does a great job, takes a look at something, and it is above that area, I have no issue with that fine, or excuse me, that suspension being stiffer for the pitcher than even the batter that goes and runs out to the mound.
I agree.
Starling Marte at the plate. 2 quick strikes from Marquez.
Well, the good thing about last inning for Herman was that he was able to get out of the cold. So I think they have a spot for him underneath where there's an extra heater, so he's not really out and about in this type of weather.
Well, Buddy was talking about this before the game, and he said, I'm sure Herman, learned a lot, especially about pitching in inclement conditions, and he was going to remind him before the ball game In fact, he was going to meet with him right after he met with the media today and said, I want you to make sure you always have a coat on, get next to the heater, put gloves on. You need to stay warm when you're not out on the hill. Strike three on the inside corner, dropped another curveball in there. 2 outs, strikeout number 4 for Marquez.
And dropped in. And a little jackknife there of Marte. He wasn't quite sure that was a strike, but we saw a moment ago in the Subaru strike zone that it definitely was.
That'll bring up Josh Bell, who he struck out with a runner at third on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And he swings and misses here. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Josh Bell. Josh Bell, told you he grew up in Irving, Texas with Trevor Story. He went to Jesuit College Preparatory School in Dallas, where all he did his senior year was hit .556 with 14 home runs and 55 driven in. And he was named the Gatorade Texas Player of the Year.
Really?
He was a Baseball America All-American, a U.S. Today First Team All-USA player, a Louisville Slugger All-American, had a scholarship to go to the University of Texas, and they were afraid he was going to go to Texas, so he fell out of the first round. Pittsburgh took him in the second round, and his signing bonus of $5 million is the highest ever given a player outside the first round.
In the second round?
Yeah.
Well, last year he had 26 home runs, which tied a Pirates rookie record. Remember Jason Bay? He had the previous record in 2004.
2-2 curveball, and it's rolled slowly to Desi. He'll tag the bag. One other note on Josh Bell. You know who he went to high school with?
Who?
Same class as one Jordan Spieth. Is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. It is always good to be in Pittsburgh. One of the prettiest views, we've said this many times through the years, is from PNC Park across the Allegheny to downtown Pittsburgh. And Huey, this has always been a special town for you. You got your first major league hit in this town, your final major league hit in this town. Here's first pitch is a strike on Herman. But, you know, I've been coming here for a couple of decades, and the town has really been revitalized. Downtown is hopping now, a lot of great restaurants. This is a hard shot. Mercer is not going to throw out Herman.
Hey, 3 hits on the season now for Herman.
They have a steak dinner at the end of the year. This continues, right, from his brethren.
Right. He had 3 for 6 on the year.
He hit this hard.
He did. Jordy Mercer lays out for it, tries to throw him out from his knees. Herman said, you can't hold my speed back.
I don't care who you are, pitcher. Relief pitcher.
Okay,
If you have an opportunity to hit and you smell a hit, you're gonna be flying down that line.
So tonight is a night that a pitcher should wear his jacket. Sometimes we've seen pitchers do that when it's 90 degrees.
No, we haven't seen that since the 70s. The satin jacket.
Right.
You know, you weren't sure if Travolta was at first or the guy who was hurling that day.
Right, but that's what they always did.
Had to wear a jacket.
Always had to wear a jacket.
104 in St. Louis on July 28th, and the pitcher reaches, he's wearing a jacket. This is slowly hit to third, and they'll get the force.
And that actually works out better. If you're going to have anything happen with a weak ground ball like that, is to get Herman off the field, let him go get warm, let DJ run.
Folks, if the Rockies score 7 runs or more and they're well on their way, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Chris Iannetta double to drive in a run, and a run scored in the first, and he hit a fly ball to right.
By the way, I only have one of those silk jackets left from my days in Montreal.
You still have one?
I have one.
Now, in all your stops in the big leagues, was it all satin jackets, or did they
No,
at some point?
they moved on.
They did move on?
Montreal was the last one.
Satin jacket. Did you have a going out satin jacket at any point in your life? Come clean.
No.
Did you have a members only jacket?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I
yeah,
did too.
right?
Yeah.
Well, before that double for Chris back in the first inning, he was just 4 for 46 at PNC.
The bat and the ball were coming at the same time at Jordy Mercer. He did not field the bat, he fielded the ball, so it's a 6-4-3 double play. Middle of 5, the Rockies leading 5-0. Nothing, and it was snowing earlier, and they don't know whether to swing at snowflakes or baseballs. Doesn't matter. They can't hit German Marquez. He has been brilliant so far. He's allowed 1 base runner. That was a 2-out walk on a 3-2 pitch in the first to Starling Marte. Here in the 5th inning, it'll be Corey Dickerson, Francisco Cervelli, and Colin Moran. And Dickerson takes a strike on the outside corner. He's got the entire arsenal working. Still primarily fastball, curveball, but he's throwing a changeup here and there and 1 or 2 sliders.
He's even shook to some of those pitches. That tells you how good it is.
And this is a towering fly ball to Cargo in right center. And Corey Dickerson is retired. That'll bring up Cervelli.
only 37 degrees, but with the wind, it feels like it's 28.
And I'd like to tell you folks it's going to get warmer, but tomorrow's supposed to be worse. These little guys are bundled up as they should be. Cervelli takes a slider for strike one. Pirates off to a tremendous start, 11-4.
They're 7-2 out on the road.
I asked Clint earlier today, I said, hey, you know, again, it's 15 games. I said, you know, did the national media just immediately discard you because McCutchen left and Garrett Cole left? And when I say left, they were traded. And he said, we have, you know, Kutch moved on. We have our nucleus back. Other than Kutch, we have some players we really like that are young, and Moran. Remember Polanco, and they get Marte back. I mean, there's talent, and they have some arms that they really like. So I think what happens with prognosticating in the winter is there are names you may not be as familiar with, and so you don't give them, this is line toward Cargo. He lays out, can't get it. And Cervelli's probably going to end up at third. And if you're wondering, why did Cargo lay out there? Well, it's fifth inning. The Rockies have a 5-0 lead, and Herman had not given up a hit yet.
Yeah, and you can tell from that smile, that's exactly what Cargo was thinking. So it ends up a triple for Cervelli. Inside out swing off the label. Cargo's charging hard at it. You're hoping it would stay up, and he lays out. And because the way he hit it, it's also moving away from Cargo. He hops up and goes after it pretty quickly.
Here's Moran, and he fouls it off. And given the score, if it was 2-0,
yeah,
probably not a smart play. You know, it's easy to sit up here and determine what's smart and what's not. Your instincts take over down there.
That's what it is.
But you know what? If they concede a run, the Rockies are still up by 4. Who's mindful of the situation with the no-no at that point in time. Here's Cervelli. Here's the throw by Parra. And a sac fly for Moran, 5-1.
Fans, MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details.
So that'll bring up Jordy Mercer with 2 outs. He struck out his first time swinging. Down low. 2-0. He's a wonderful competitor, Herman. He has great aptitude for pitching. You forget sometimes, Huey. He's 23.
Well, and that, for the Rockies, is really not unusual. They had the youngest rotation last year in the big leagues. This year, they have the second youngest rotation at 26.3 years of age.
And that slider down beneath the knees. That's a pitch, you know, we've seen fastball, curveball, but that slider is really in play this evening here in Pittsburgh.
He might even see it a third time.
It's left up, pop up to shallow center, and DJ got a great jump on it. In the inning, there was the Cervelli triple as Cargo tried to lay out and make a diving catch. It turns into a run, 5-1 Colorado. 5-1, Blackman, Desmond, Gonzalez coming up here in the top of the 6th inning. In the driver's seat is brought to you by Lazy Days RV. The Rockies have now hit 18 home runs on the road this year. After the home run by Trevor earlier in the ball game, that is second best in baseball. The Cardinals who've hit 21. Pirates hit some home runs, huh? 17 of them. Charlie is 0 for 2, did drive in a run with a ground out to the right side in the 1st inning. Hit a couple home runs coming back after missing 4 ball games with the right quad issue. This will be the last inning of work for Brault. He's due to lead off in the bottom of the 6th.
And David Freese was out on the on-deck circle if that inning had been extended.
Hard shot through the left side, base hit for Blackman.
First baseman, Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond hit a comebacker and then drew a walk after being behind in a count 0-2. That was in the 4th inning. Cargo followed with a base hit up the middle, and then Trevor hit a slider into the seats and left. Here's the 1-0 to Desi.
Stiff wind now blowing straight out center field. There it is.
You know you have some tradition when you're hanging a championship banner from 1909, right? Their last world championship of the 4 they have, 1979, the We Are Family team of Willie Stargell.
Statue of him outside the ballpark. That sweet swing of his.
Yeah. Ground ball picked up by Bell. There's one, and that's all they'll get. So Desmond trades places with Blackman, and that'll bring up Cargo.
Right fielder, Carlos Gonzalez.
Cargo a base hit right up the middle last time. A little miscommunication. That's a couple of hits that the left-handers have had off of Steven today. He'd only given up 2 hits to lefties. Prior to that, they were 2 for 17. Rockies matched it today and looking for more.
Rockies at PNC their last 10 ball games. Actually, I should say their last 6 series here at PNC Park. They have lost every one of those series. Trying to turn the tables this year. Outside on Cargo. Major shift on. If Cargo bunts it down the third base line, he may have a double. And if you're going to shift, though, you were a terrific middle infielder. I think this is the way you do it. Having that guy kind of in no man's land is, I've never understood it.
No, I haven't either. I think more where the traditional shortstop would play. I think that is where Moran is right now. That's the third baseman. I'm with you. That kind of no man's land, you don't get anything out of it. You can't take away the bunt, but also not where a lot of balls are hit. I think Desi's eyeballing Steven, the pitcher. Or is trying to get a read. Seemed to be comfortable going back to the bag, so he's picking something up.
Cargo drives this ball to left field. It'll stay in the ballpark. Dickerson will make the catch. Desi's tagging up, trying to get the second. Did he get there? Nope. So Dickerson with his 4th outfield assist. That leads baseball as he throws out. Ian Desmond trying to advance. Rockies up 5-1.
National Series, we got to see 2 young fans exchange balls. Matt Wieters hit a home run, and DJ LeMahieu did. They ended up in the hands of the wrong fans, so they swapped them out. But then a really cool moment, the Nationals fan actually sent a direct message to the Colorado Rockies saying he was a huge LSU fan and that he wanted a DJ LeMahieu baseball. And you know what? The Rockies obliged. They got him an autographed baseball from DJ LeMahieu, and all is well and good karma around for everyone up there, guys.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. The home run, the Rockies' home run was by Desmond, was caught by a Nats fan, and vice versa, and they switched. Max Moroff is the pinch hitter.
Strike 3.
And he didn't last long at the plate. 3 pitches, and he is gone, all in the same place on the Subaru strike zone. So Moroff is strikeout victim number 5 tonight for Herman. That'll bring up Adam Frazier. He's grounded out twice. Nice pitch total also for where he is in the game. 80 pitches with 1 out in the 6th inning. Frazier's always been able to hit. 300 hitter throughout his minor league career. Last year he hit 276 and over 400 at bats. He grounds to DJ, 2 outs.
Come celebrate moms, veterans, and America at the ballpark with the new holiday suite special. Mother's Day, Memorial Day, July 2nd, Labor Day. All suites are only $100 per ticket, and that includes food and beverage. Call 303-ROCKIES today.
2 outs, nobody on. That'll bring up Gregory Polanco. Fly ball to center and a fly ball to left for Polanco. A strike. Last year he played in only 108 games. hit 251, 11 home runs, 35 driven in. The year before, he had 22 and drove in 86.
And they've kind of bounced him all around their batting order, though. You know, tonight we're seeing him hit second. We've seen him hit third, sometimes fifth.
That just missed. 2-1. 26-year-old Polanco from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Big guy, 6'5", 235. That's out of play.
Still relatively young, too.
Yeah, he still is young. He's still developing. This is his fourth full year in the big leagues, and he got about half a season in back in 2014. That's foul.
Oh. It's cold even for people down the line trying to chase those baseballs down.
Two balls, two strikes. Fastball actually has a changeup. 3-2 changeup was up and away. Second walk allowed by Marquez. That'll bring up Starlin Marte.
Yeah, that's just the first really bad pitch that he's thrown tonight. The one that just got away from him.
Probably his fourth best pitch, too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the first one in 89 pitches.
Marte, a walk and a strikeout looking.
That strikeout looking was on a curveball inside. Again,
curveball.
The Subaru strike zone. That's where he struck him out last time with that curveball.
About 20 different, a differential of 20 miles an hour to cover. That's the slider. So he's got 76 with the curveball, 84 slider. He may see 97 right
fastball?
here. Yeah, why not?
Just a courtesy throw over. I think the Pirates down by 4. With their 3-hole hitter up, will try to swipe a bag.
Curveball, it's inside, 1-2. Rockies have Chris Russin up just in case. Pitch count at 92. One-two, and this ball is driven to left center field, and it's going to go to the wall. Polanco will score. And Marte is hunting a triple. It's 5-2.
The
Maybe
two-out walk, yeah, it's
one too many breaking balls.
in the same spot. It's one thing if you throw another breaking pitch, but you went back into the same location to a veteran hitter like Marte. But I still kind of go back to the two-out walk when you walk Polanco. Marte didn't miss that one. Hits it into that gap. Everybody running, now it's 5-2.
Well, this will be the last hitter for Marquez. Either he gets out of the inning or you'll see Chris Russin face Corey Dickerson. 1-0 on Bell, chopped foul.
And they're playing closer to a third with Marte. There he is dancing around over there when he got to third in the first inning. So see how close Pat is. Not going to let the same thing happen.
Beat Bell with that fastball, and that wasn't even his A fastball.
92.
I wouldn't slow it down here.
No, I would go back up and upstairs, maybe up by the letters.
1-2, that's what he did. And he got the strikeout at 96. Good call. In the inning with 2 outs, a walk, and a triple. And now the Pirates trail 5-2 as we go to the 7th. Flurries in the first inning, and Chris Iannetta drove the baseball through the flurries to the base of the center field wall. DJ, who had walked, scored, and Marquez did not allow a hit until the 5th inning. He has struck out 6 through 6 innings, and that was the tail end of a Trevor Story 3-run homer.
New pitcher for Pittsburgh, Tyler Glasnow.
He'll take over in the top of the 7th. Trevor Story, Pat Valaika, Gerardo Parra.
Fastball, curveball. And that fastball is 96, and the curveball is right around 81, 82.
Fastball cut off the plate, ball 1. Another pitch off the plate.
Last time out for Tyler wasn't pretty. 4 earned runs in just 2/3 of an inning in Chicago.
Oh, he's thrown 2 pitches and Cervelli's visiting with him. The Rockies 5 runs on 5 hits. The home run continues to drive them right now. And here's a bit of good news, though, in addition to the 5-2 lead. Additional good news, the Rockies against Brawl struck out only 1 time. And strikeouts, they're a league-wide issue. In fact, more than 22% of at-bats now, almost 23% of at-bats end in a strikeout. It's the highest rate ever, and every year they just keep, breaking the record. 3-0, Story takes, and that's a 4-pitch walk. So Trevor, with his wonderful speed, will go to first base, and that'll bring up Valleca. Middle relief has been an issue for the Pirates. On the very back end, they're in a good place with Vasquez, formerly Felipe Rivero. He changed his name. That's a left-hander who throws close to 100 miles an hour. But as Clint described, as only Clint can, he said, the 6th inning, 7th inning, he goes, there's been some turbulence.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Turbulence. Kind of like
turbulence.
Our flight from Washington in here last night.
Told his guys sometimes it's not safe to get out of your seat.
Buckle up.
They've given up a ton of runs in this stage of the game, but they've withstood it because they're 11-4. He's trying to hand him their 5th loss.
And he got a gift there on the Subaru strike zone after throwing 5 straight out of the zone. You usually don't get that one that's not right down the center.
Parra's on deck, and then after that you'll get a pinch hitter for Marquez in all likelihood. And Pat's staring down Stu Cole because this may be one of those situations where if you throw more strikes you could see a hit and run type of thing, but that's what that's why he was really looking. And the runner takes off. It was a hit and run, and it doesn't matter. The Story swipes the bag.
It's his 3rd stolen base on the year without being caught. Poor Trevor. I know. And this is a hit and run. Pat swings through it. Cervelli tries to make the throw. There was no interference.
Third stolen base for Story. Boy, that's a good read by Trevor.
Great read because the ball went to third base. That would have been about a 75-foot throw for Francisco. So he had the good secondary lead, but when he saw where the ball went, how close he was to third was Cervelli, he said, no, I can't go.
Valleca line drive center field. Story trying to read it, and he'll have to get back to the bag. That's the second time tonight that Valleca's hit the ball hard at Marte, and he's made the catch both times.
That's just unfair. When you only have a couple hits on the year, you square up 2, you think one of them's going to fall in.
Here's Parra. He fouled out to third and hit a ground ball to second. Mike Tachman has come out in the on-deck circle. This one he'll be able to move up on. That's huge. That wild pitch by Glasnow will force the Pirates to pull the infield in.
That wasn't even close. Did that make dirt? Or did they go off the? If it did, not by much.
Yeah.
Subaru Supermo. No,
Oh,
we got
that's grass.
It is grass. I mean, that's a 55-footer.
Joe, honestly, we kind of always throw that out there, those certain terms, 58 feet, 55 feet. That had to be even less than that, right, Huey?
Yeah, it might have been 54, 53. Well, with the infield in and a guy that's so erratic, it's actually harder to hit if you're at the plate because you're not quite sure where the ball's going to go.
This is fought off to shallow left, even for Story. I don't know if it's deep enough. Nope. Parra couldn't get it quite far enough. Dickerson, who had an outfield assist last inning, fired it in. And with 2 outs, we'll see Mike Tachman.
And that might have been one of the better throws we've ever seen Corey Dickerson have, that throw to second base.
Number 3, Mike Tachman. Will bat for Marquez.
I'm trying to remember. Corey had Tommy John surgery, didn't he? And was it in minor leagues or at some point he had an injury?
Mike with his first hit yesterday in Washington.
Got a good swing off there.
Well, and what's hard too here at Pittsburgh, it's, you know, it's part of that new ballpark. Well, the batting cage is up in the clubhouse, and there's a long set of stairs before you even get up to the walkway to get to the clubhouse. So there's no place down here really to get any swings off.
Ooh, that's off Cervelli's mask.
He's playing it off. He's got to check to make sure those bars are okay. But what I say for Michael, you know, you have to go up to the clubhouse probably 2 or 3 times before you think you're going to be in the game, just to go get warm, get loose up there. But even down close to the dugout, there's no artificial turf. There's nowhere for you to do any sprints or jogging.
And this is a roller to second. That'll end the inning. So the Rockies leave Story aboard. Middle of 7 will stretch in Pittsburgh. The Rockies up 5-2. Time for our Kubota pitching performance. What a job tonight from German Marquez. Gives up 2 runs on only 2 hits. Struck out 6, walked 2, 97 pitches. And he's in line naturally for the victory. He has dominated the NL Central in his young career. 6-0, a chance to go to 7-0 with a 2.58 ERA coming in. And a whip right around 1. And those numbers will improve after this outing. Chris Russell will make his 7th appearance. Corey Dickerson, Francisco Cervelli, and Colin Moran in the 7th. And this is on the ground toward the middle of the diamond. It's going to get through, and now it's an 11-game hitting streak for Dickerson.
In 2014 with the Rockies, he had a 12-game hit streak.
A couple old teammates of yours on the coaching lines. I see Mera Bartiz at first, Joey Cora's at third. Yeah. Played with Barti in Baltimore and Cora in Seattle. Huh?
Yeah, back-to-back years. Good baseball, great baseball guys, not just good baseball guys.
You all stayed in the game.
And what a great game it is.
Yeah. High on Cervelli. He poked a kind of a low, soft liner toward right with 1 out in the 5th inning. And Cargo coming in, laid out, trying to make the diving catch, because at that point in time, Marquez hadn't given up a hit yet. And he couldn't make the catch. Ball got behind him for a triple. This is softly hit. And the Rockies won't be able to turn it over, but a good job by Valleca to make sure you get the lead runner in a 3-run game.
Yeah, and the lead runner, and also where he threw that ball. He caught it in front of the bag at third. He didn't lead DJ into the runner. He threw it to the back portion of the bag so DJ could have the bag to protect himself. So Pat comes and gets it, but watch where DJ is. He's able to pop off the backside and use the bag so the runner can't get into his feet.
What a different comfort level for that second baseman receiving the baseball in that situation.
Yeah, because what happens if you lead me into that runner, I get alligator arms. My arms get real short because I know there's going to be contact then.
Colin Moran had a sac fly to left to drive in the first run for Pittsburgh. Well,
what a play.
That'll work.
Oh.
Valleca falling down backwards starts a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning.
Do it, Patty.
Nice job, Pat. This is worthy of another look. Lines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Winter night here in April in Pittsburgh, and the Rockies leading the Pirates 5-2 as we go to the top of the 8th inning with Corey Sullivan and Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Look at that double play started by Pat Vallejo once again.
Well, why not? This ball was hit hard off the bat. It causes Pat to fall back to his backside, but even then, he throws a strike right to Trevor, who relays it to Ian for the just routine 5-6-3 double play. I say routine because there was nothing routine about that.
No. Top of the order for the Rockies against Glass now. Here's DJ, Ionette, and Blackman to follow. Fastball for a strike. DJ walked and scored in the first. That was leading off the game. He lined to center and then reached on a fielder's choice. Stayed off the breaking ball, 1-1. 5 home runs already for DJ. It's late August when he hit his 5th last year. Actually, he hit his 5th in the 6th, I should say, in the same game down in Atlanta. One out. Rockies with 1 out have Ionetta at the plate. Chris doubled in a run in the first. Fly ball to right, hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Some of those flurries come out again.
No, that's what they're saying, that they're going to come back. Fans looking to come out to a game, there's always great Rockies ticket deals available, so bookmark Rockies.com/specials and check back throughout the season.
Good curveball. I still have to reflect on that series in Washington. The Rockies take 3 of 4 from a really good Nationals team. You face Gonzalez in the opener, you win the game. You win the next game when Roark's pitching. This is in the air to center field. Scherzer, yeah, you were leading 2-0. The Nats end up winning that night. And then you win on Sunday when Strasburg is pitching and pitching well. You win a series in which you were 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position, and you were 0 for 16 in such spots the first 3 games.
But you out-homered them.
You hit less than 200 for the series, and you win 3 of 4 on the road against a high-quality opponent.
That's the beauty of this game.
It's the beauty of the game, but it tells you a lot about these Colorado Rockies, too. You know, all weekend long, Buddy would get questions from the Washington media looking for, you know, plaudits, whether it be on Bryce Harper, Steven Strasburg, or Max Scherzer. And Buddy would certainly oblige because he has the utmost respect for those guys. Who doesn't? They're 3 of the best players in the sport. But he would always conclude whatever commentary he had with, you know, we're pretty good too.
Yes. And this is all what happened in Washington the last few days without the birthday boy.
Without Nolan?
Yeah.
That's right. Happy birthday, Nolan.
27 today.
Old
I know he's watching too.
Yeah.
He's been watching, so happy birthday, Nolan. We'll see you on Friday.
2-2. Something tells me he treated himself on his birthday to like 6,000 swings today down in Scottsdale at Salt River Fields. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And so one final note too, from kind of that series to finish it out, at least on Scherzer. Hitters are now 3 for 50 against Max Scherzer at Nationals Park this year. 3, that's it.
Charlie's got one of them,
Yeah.
and it gave the Rockies a 2-0 lead, and then he was perfect after that. Charlie had a base hit his last time up, 1 for 3. 2-2 from Glass now. Fastball's up.
And Scherzer also was the player of the week.
Justin Verlander was the player of the week in the American League. Three-two on Chuck Nasty, and Charlie drives this ball in the Trout foul. This ball clubbed deep right field and gone. Another Blackman home run. Number 7 for Charlie. And the Rockies lead it 6-2.
A 3-2 pitch for Charlie. 2 RBIs on the night. That gives him 13 on the season. Let's see a little bit of a hobble too, running home. He's just gutting it out. 7 home runs. Again, all out on the road. That ball was lathered to right. I didn't know if it was going to have enough height to get over that 21-foot wall in right field here at PNC.
Curveball's low on Desmond. Yeah, that was the only question. I mean, this ball was punched hard. And it got about 4 or 5 rows deep.
It's 21 feet high in remembrance of Roberto Clemente.
He is something else. Charlie with 7 home runs, all out on the road. 2 RBI night. Got 13 ribbies. Called low, 2 balls and a strike. Desi tonight, 0 for 2, walked in the 4th and would come around to score.
It's 118 home runs, excuse me, for Charlie now. That ties Brad Hopp for 10th in club history.
One of my all-time favorite Rockies,
Hopper.
Brad Hopp. 2-2. Talk about getting the bat head out, huh?
Oh.
That's what Charlie just did. I don't know how this at-bat's going to end, obviously, but you can just see Desmond's a little quieter.
Yeah.
Sat on that
Remember
break at Pitts, stayed on his backside a little bit longer.
Remember the 4th inning, same thing.
Yeah.
When he drew the walk.
Three and 2. So the Rockies came into the ballgame, Huey, with 19.7%. We'll round to 20. 1 out of every 5 of their hits were home runs. Tonight, the Rockies have 6 hits. 33% of their hits are home runs. They're going to hit, folks. It's like Charlie was saying last night. And a foul tip held by Cervelli. We'll tell you when we come back exactly what Charlie said afterward about the Rockies' offense and the home runs. Charlie knows home runs. He knows hitting. His 7th of the year, 6-2 Rockies.
Sunday, April 22nd, we'll receive a 25th anniversary reusable Earth Day tote bag courtesy of MLB Network.
Here's Charlie Blackmon. Here is, you see the first pitch from Rustin is in there for a strike. Tell you what Charlie said after last night's ball game about the offense. Outside on Mercer, 1-1. I think home runs are the best way to score runs. It's not indicative of a sustainable success, maybe, sustainable success. So I would like to see more good at-bats, singles, doubles, walks, that kind of thing. But I'll take a homer any day. Lately, he's been having a homer every day. This is going to be no shot for Vallejo. That ends in 0 for 17 for Jordy Mercer. That's normally how you end in 0 for 17 with a bleeder.
Bunt. Too bad for Chris because he made a good pitch to Mercer. David Freese will now pinch hit. A different role for Freese these days.
And the point about home runs, right now the home run, which is always wonderful, it has been driving the Rockies offense because they have not hit for average here in the month of April. Cold weather, whatever you want to, blame it on. A lot of teams are below where you'd expect them to be. Rockies just played a team that has more guys struggling than hitting their stride in Washington, other than Bryce Harper, who, by the way, hit his 8th tonight. But the point being, the Rockies are finding ways to win, and yeah, they're utilizing the long ball, but they're going to have plenty of nights where they're going to throw out 12, 14 hits also and bunch 3, 4 hits at a time. 1-1 on Freese.
Right now, as we stand, the Rockies have 128 hits. They've hit 26 home runs. So now it is over 20%. 20.3% of their hits have been home runs.
And hopefully the trend, not by percentage necessarily, Huey.
Yeah.
That's hard to sustain that kind of percentage.
Well,
but in terms of overall production, you hope it continues, because a year ago the Rockies hit 192 home runs, and now we're back in that era of a lot of home runs, right?
Yeah.
That was 10th in the National League. With the bats they have in the lineup, you'd like to see the Rockies in the top 3 or 4. Swung on and missed. Freese is gone. 1 out.
Well,
and think about this. Nolan's looking in tonight on his 27th birthday once again. And he hit a home run on opening day. So he has 1 home run. He's hitting over 300. I have to believe, because I look at the back of his baseball card,
right,
he's going to hit 30 to 45, right?
Go ahead and mark it. But how about this? Since 2014 to last year, home runs have increased 46%.
Well, home runs have gone up, strikeouts have gone up.
Strikeouts have gone up the last 10 years straight. So last year, Major League record was 6,105 home runs that were hit. In 2014, there was 4,186.
Inside corner. That's a good pitch from Rustin. 1 ball, 1 strike on Adam Frazier. He's hitting on the ground 3 times tonight. Rustin grew up in the Midwest, played in Kentucky. He knows cold weather. That's another good-looking slider.
All these guys have played in cold weather. You think about the minor leagues, save a couple maybe in the Florida State League or in the Cal League, you're not going to have it, but you're going to have it in the Midwest League, or you'll have it even in the PCL if you play in the American Association. I mean, it's going to happen. I should say internationally. They don't have the American Association anymore.
Probably the biggest shock is a kid who comes over for the first time from Latin America.
Well, how about the other day, I think it was Ozzy Albies. They'd never seen snow before.
Never seen snow when he was in Denver. Good fastball. Boy, he sped that up. I mean, that played at 91, but above the hands after the sliders, that might as well have been 101.
Yeah, Chris has that innate ability to kind of read what the hitter's thinking and then exploit it.
I'll tell you how valuable he is. His teammates know, the organization knows. He is such a unique talent. Gregory Polanco, 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 6th inning. And it's a little roller. DJ calls off Story, and that's the end of the inning. Good job by Russin. He's worked 2 scoreless frames. We go to the 9th inning. The Rockies leading at PNC 6-2 over the Bucks. Cargo will lead things off in the 9th inning with the Rockies up 6-2. Kyle Crick will take over in the 9th inning. Cargo tonight, a line out, a base hit up the middle, and another line drive. Both of his line outs were to deep left field.
Second appearance for Kyle Crick on the year, just recalled from AAA Indianapolis last Friday.
Rockies know Crick a little bit from his days with the Giants.
He came over in that trade for Andrew McCutchen.
Two 2-0. 6 runs, 6 hits for the Rockies. 2 runs, just 4 hits allowed by the Rockies. It's been Marquez for 6 and 2 from Chris Russin. Corey Dickerson again in left field, 1 out.
Drew, the last time the Rockies scored 6 or more runs at PNC Park, you had talked about it. You have to go back to April 10th, 2011, or 18 games in between.
And we're talking about Nationals Park and how well the Rockies have played there historically. This is a place they have not played well. Tonight they are, though. Trevor Story with 1 out. Who Wants Tacos? Fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 in a game. Well, Story goes deep again. They'll have 7. Hit a 3-run home run back in the 4th. Bullet to left. I admire a lot of things about Trevor Story. This kid is mentally tough. He has a ground ball headed up the middle and not going to be able to throw him out. Yeah, they said he's out.
I think we're going to take a look at this one.
They're going to look closely at this one.
Trevor was calling it.
Mercer made a nice play.
He caught that at the end of his glove. I didn't even think it was going to be this close. I thought Trevor had beat it out by a step. Right up the middle. And he's out of the box hard. Just a little snow cone action. Yeah, they will look at it.
He looks safe there. This one will be
Subaru Supermo.
He's safe.
But he's safe.
He's safe by a lot.
And we'll go ahead and mark that in the book as a base hit. That'd be 2 for 3 for Trevor.
I want to go back to some of the reasons I admire him. You know, this is a young player still. People forget he's just at the beginning of his 3rd year. You talk about a splash to begin your career,
yeah.
the 2 home runs against Zach Greinke. Lost the latter part of that season, hit a ton of home runs. There's the official word. Last year, you know, despite leading the league in strikeouts, he still hit 24 home runs, drove in 82. He's struck out a bunch so far this year. He's played great defense, Gold Glove caliber defense as a sophomore. He's doing it again this year. And you know, despite all of the, you know, the tough days, you know, he's had 4 strikeout ball games. He's ready to go the next day. He does not melt, which so many, Huey, you played a long time. A lot of guys would.
If you're not mentally tough, you would melt. And last year showed me a lot that even though things weren't going and he had some strikeouts, as we said, he still had 20-something home runs, 24 and 82 RBIs. And he played Gold Glove type of defense at shortstop. He had the same fielding percentage as the guy in San Francisco that won the.
Well, Brandon Crawford every year is a contender for Gold Glove, and well, he should be.
No, exactly. But they have the same fielding percentage.
Exactly. Trevor does not take a back seat to anybody at shortstop. Valleca takes that pitch down, 3-0. The other thing about Trevor, he has a maturity beyond his years in that he's really even keel, which for a baseball player, emotionally, sometimes, there's ball 4, it doesn't happen until later on. You know, I look at you now, Huey, as pretty even keel personality, but I remember when you played, and I know you had some snappage to you.
I had a lot of snappage.
Yeah.
A lot of snappage in me.
What? We're going on camera, and you wanted to take the hood off. I have no desire to take the hood off.
I got the gloves.
Yeah.
So, no, but you're right. For Trevor, I totally agree with what you're saying, because it is easy to have a fuse that's about that short when things aren't going well. And
it's been like that.
People say that, and it's easy to coach from the sideline, stay that way. But no, it's harder to do when you're wearing that uni. And because the old line and the old saying, Clint Hurdle, this isn't the try-hard league. This is a do-good league.
Yep. Parra takes a pitch outside from Kyle Crick. 2 on, 1 out. Ryan McMahon in the on-deck circle. ask you something else. With a young player, even a young gifted player who, you know, was a celebrated minor league player and one of your top prospects like Trevor Story, if you're that young player that is riding the roller coaster emotionally and is throwing helmets periodically or bats or you know, blowing up, you know, a garbage can underneath in the tunnel, how does that play with veterans? Do they understand it? I mean, they understand the difficulty of the game, or does sometimes that's
usually
not looked upon favorably?
No, it's usually handled first in the minor leagues. That's where you kind of get it out. I remember I had a manager my first year in A-ball, junior minor, that finally told me to knock it off. And so I kind of took that to heart. If you snap every once in a while in the dugout, nobody's going to say a word. But if you're doing it after every at-bat or every couple of bats, yeah, that's going to wear on the team, and they're going to finally say, listen, enough's enough. It's not just about you, it's about the ball club too.
2-2 on Gerardo. Rockies would love to get a 5-run lead. Bell will get, did he get the out there? Yeah, because of a nice catch by Jordy Mercer. That throw was dangerously low. So it'll be 1st and 3rd, and Ryan McMahon with 2 outs will pinch hit for Chris Russin.
Well, with Bell playing back, he's got the lane he wants to throw to second. He just threw that down into the runner about knee high to Jordy Mercer. He's on the bag. Pat stays in contact with the bag, so there's no issue with the double play and him being too far away. Solid 2 innings of work for Chris Russin tonight. Couple strikeouts, couple base hits, no runs.
Yeah, Chris looked good. So here's McMahon. He should be back in there at 3rd tomorrow. In the 4th game of the suspension for Nolan. The reason I say that is there's a right-hander scheduled for Pittsburgh.
Next 2 days for Pittsburgh, in fact.
Yep. What have you seen from Ryan as he's trying to get his footing?
A little indecision. That's what I've been seeing. It's not that confident swing that we saw during spring training.
Parra's going to move up.
It's been tough for Ryan to adjust to the role. You play every day in the minors, you come up, you're pinch hitter, but now you're back in the role every day. You're not going to have your A swing all the time. So I think that the young thing that you want to teach young players is now you got to go up and compete. Pitcher doesn't know you don't have your A swing, right? He doesn't know if you have your B swing or your D swing on. So then it becomes a competition, me against you.
Never see him sweat, right?
No.
Never let him see you sweat. Two balls, 2 strikes on McMahon with 2 in scoring position. Top of 9, 6-2 Colorado. And that's called strike 3. On the outer edge, Kyle Crick gets the strikeout. Rockies looking for 3 more outs to shake hands. On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Beautiful PNC Park in the Three River City. The Rockies leading 6-2, and Adam Ottavino will be summoned and asked to get the last 3 outs. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Pirates. Starling Marte, Josh Bell, and Corey Dickerson.
Well, for Adam, gave up his first run of the season yesterday on that wild pitch, but you saw 3 wins. Just tied among National Leaguers. It doesn't matter whether you're a starter or a reliever.
I like this decision by Buddy Black. Ottavino has been as dominant as any reliever in baseball so far. He had the 1 wild pitch yesterday. Get him right back on the bump.
Yeah.
So his last memory is getting to shake hands, right?
Right. And that's what you want. So when you need him again tomorrow, when you have the lead, you run him out there, and he remembers that. He remembers shaking hands. But make that handshake line fast so you get back into some warmth.
They will. 1 and 2 on Marte. A walk, a strikeout, and a triple by Marte to score a run. Yeah, he went with the 93-mile-an-hour sinking fastball. Good luck. Corey, it is your field level. If you're a right-handed hitter, it's an absolute joke facing Ottavino, right?
There is no level of comfort for any right-handed hitter. He's been able to dominate him the whole time. I know you guys just talked about him giving up his first run, but that gives us a look at a statistic that I love for relief pitching. That's that ERA plus. He had to give up a run for us to see it. 487. That's absolutely ridiculous. Ks per 9, 18.6. A negative FIP, which I didn't know was possible, and a WHIP of .31.
That's the one time, I guess, a negative in baseball is a positive, right?
He's struck out at least 2 in every appearance this year but 1. Here's Josh Bell, struck out 2 out of the 3 times he's come up, and that literally took a left turn. Visually, it looks like it moved 3 feet.
Yeah. Whatever you were seeing as a hitter is not good. Good for Adam.
And that's a strike on the outside corner. He's throwing it at different speeds. 1 and 2. Adam knows playing in cold weather. Grew up in Brooklyn. Played collegiately at Northeastern. Boston.
To me, Northeastern's more of a hockey school in Hockey East than you think of a baseball.
Yeah. Can't argue with you.
Yeah.
They've had some guys, though, here and there.
Yeah, they have.
The baseball diamond. Ottavino was the #1 pick of the Cardinals. Final pick of the first round that year. When I say final pick of the non-supplemental portion of the first round. He was the 30th pick in the 06 draft, that great 06 draft. One, 2, and see you later. That is the 2nd strikeout for Ottavino. 3rd time Bell has been fanned tonight. Pirates down to their last out. Let's check the starting matchup tomorrow in game 2 of this 3-game set. Chad Bettis for the Rockies. Trevor Williams, who's 3-0 with a 156 so far for the Pirates. Bettis has a 2.04 ERA. Boy, is he throwing the baseball effectively. He had a nasty changeup in Washington on Thursday, opening up that series in Washington. Here's Dickerson. Had a base hit up the middle his last time up to keep his hitting streak alive at 11 games.
Yeah, I thought Chad, the way he started that game in Washington, after what happened the day before, and was it going to be a letdown? He didn't let that happen. He set the tone. He was attack mode. Great pace.
Yeah, that was a gem.
One more pitch here.
2 strikes the count on Corey Dickerson, with the Rockies up 6-2 in the 9th. That's a changeup. Doesn't throw many of those. On the ground to third. Baleka, perfect throw, and a perfect night for the Rockies. What a way to start this series in Pittsburgh, a place that's been a house of horrors for the Rockies. They win convincingly 6-2. Fine start from Germán Marquez. They got a couple home runs tonight. Charlie Blackmon, naturally. A 3-run shot from Trevor Story. The Rockies, for the first time this year, 2 games above 500. They're 8-4 out on the road, 10-8 overall. 6-2. The final. Colorado has defeated the Pirates. Let's go west to our Denver studios. Here's Jenny and Spilly. Jenny?